Good morning to all. As you know, myself is Dr. Manish Chaudhary from OPGS University. We will continue our coursework classes, which we are already studying our lesson uh, that is a quantitative study, paper number 4. Today we will continue our classes on the G-square test method. How we can conduct this test, what are the procedures, what are the importance, and what are the concepts and what are the objects. Okay. First of all, we will start about the concept. That what kinds of concept we will use for this G-square test. The concepts are, you may write down with me. First one, it is a two-way it will present in a two-way tables. Second one is the problem of multiple comparisons. Next one is expected counts in two-way table. The G-square test study. Cell counts required for the G-square test. Next one is uses of the G-square test, and last but not least, that is the G-square distribution. Okay, these are the basic concepts which we will follow in a G-square test. Write it so we can go for the further study. Okay. Next one is called objectives. Because as we know that whenever we are doing anything and we will apply any research methodology, we will require any test series. The main thing is why would we take it in our research work. So there must be some objective parts. For the G-square test, there are some objectives which we will be used in our research work. One of them is, first one is construct and interpret two-way table. First objective is construct and interpret of two-way tables. Second one, which is describe the problem of multiple comparison. Multiple comparison. That is the second objective. Describe the problems of multiple comparisons, because when we will put various methods in a same table, it will be easier to describe their problems. Next one is calculate. Expected counts in two-way tables. Next one is describe the chi-square test studies. Next one is describe the cell counts which is required for the chi-square test. Next one is describe uses of chi-square test. Describe the chi-square distribution. Next one is perform a chi-square goodness of fit test. Okay, these are the some basic objectives which are used for our chi-square test. We will brief it again. First one is construction and interprets two-way tables. We will make a table without two-way forms in which we will construct and interpret. Once we make a table, after that we will describe the problem of multiple combinations. We will face these type of problems in our table. Next one is the calculation. The calculate expected counts in two-way tables. Next one is describe the chi-square test statistics which we will find in our table. Next one is describe the cell counts in chi-square test. Describe the uses of chi-square test. Describe the chi-square distributions, and last one, perform a chi-square goodness of fit test. These are the basic objectives which why we will using this chi-square test. Okay. Now we will look forward for some examples for the chi-square test. So from this example we will easily explain or we will easily know about the chi-square test. The examples are, suppose that is a question. Is there an association between students' preference for online or face-to-face and their education level. Suppose that kind of position we will face. For example, I have already said in the questions part. Which one? Is there an association between student performance for online and face-to-face and their educational level? How we can do it? Just look at. First one, we will use the survey item. First we will go to the survey item. In it, we will look that whether are you working, whether are you an undergraduate or graduate. First, we will set our survey in which field we will do. For example, here we will do in two ways for the undergraduates and the graduate students. In it, we will use two types of methods. First one is face to face, and second one is online. We can collect our data from online survey, and we will also collect our data from face to face of the candidate. In it, we will do some basic chi-square test in which we will do the information gathered from the survey must be organized in a data file within the statistical software. Second one, for each questions a categorical variable is created. We will, which means first of all we will make our data file, and it how we can do it. We will show it here. We will show it here. Okay. Let's see how can we make a table. It will use first. We will make that, as I said, first we will make it data file. In data file we will make a table. In the table, first one we will use the student ID. First we will create the student ID for our reference, for the reference. Second one is there educational level. Education level, which means whether the student is undergraduate or a graduate. Third one, which we will use instructional preference. Okay. For example, suppose we are do our survey for different peoples. First, we will generate the ID, so we can identify it. After that, that candidate is will be undergraduate. Second one is also undergraduate. Third one we can say also under, and fourth one we will say it will be a graduate. Okay. Now, next table we will show the introduction to friends. Because we already said we will use two methods. First one is online, second one is face to face. So we will fill here that how can we interact with this candidate. Suppose we will interact from here online, here face to face, on a face to face, and for it we will say we will interact this candidate from online. Okay. This is the simplest way for the chi-square data, how we can make a table in a two-way. In it, all our requirements will fill up in one table. Okay. For example, we will look over the cross tabulations, because we already said the chi-square table, which means it is a study of two-way statistical table. First one is we know it is a cross tabulations. It is we can say the cross tabulations. T-test can be used to determine whether there are significant difference between undergraduate and graduate students, or between face to face or online. Second one, however, these procedures would be conducted separately by education level or then by instruction preference. This would not reveal as association between two variables. Correlation analysis is typically used to measure the association between variables, but correlation can only be used with quantitative variables. In order to characterize variables, the data can be summarized into a table which lists the optional for one variable as the row and the optional the other variable as the columns. They are called a cross tab because two variables are being tabulated at the same time and the frequency or the percentage of individual is each subcategory are being counted. For example, we will draw the simplest cross table tabulation of the two qualitative which is nominal variable. In first part, we can say instructions preference. Second one is face to face, online, total. Okay. First one we will go undergraduate. Second one is graduate. And last one is total. This is our basic educational level table in which we will go further our actual data, or we can say our virtual data we will put at here, and the percentage criteria will be same, which we will study about after some time. Okay. Next one we will go in the table between, in this example, instruction preference are listed as the row and educational level is listed as a column. The next step is to obtain the frequency of each category, which can be done using statistical software, especially for a very large samples. Although a cross tab is a helpful descriptive statistics, it is also important to be able to determine if there is an association between the two variables and whether or not it is statistically significant. Next, we will revise this portion in other way. Okay. For that, we will start from again the chi square test series. Okay. First of all, we will talk about the chi square test. This is to determine whether the association between two quantitative variables is statistically significant. Researchers must conduct a test of significance called the chi-square test. There are 5 steps to conduct this test. One of them, which means we can say there are 5 steps for conducting the chi-square test. One of them is called, we can step 1 is formulate the hypothesis. Can you learn इसका? For that we will going through the 5 steps. One of them is known as formulated the hypothesis. In it we will use some methods. One is known as null hypothesis. Null hypothesis. We can denote it HOHG. ठीक है? Null hypothesis, which in it there is no significant association between student education level and their performance of online or face-to-face instructions. On other hand, we can also say in null hypothesis there is no difference in the distributions of instructions preference between undergraduate and graduate students. We can say if there is no association between the two variables, the individuals would be uniformly distributed across the cell of the table. In null hypothesis, the alternative hypothesis for a chi-square test is always two-sided. Is always two-sided, which we already studied in our previous time. Second one is known as alternative hypothesis. It is denoted by HA. It is denoted by HA, which means there is a significant association between student educational level and their preference for online or face-to-face instructions. On the other hand, we can also say there is a significant difference in the distributions of instructional preference between undergraduate and graduate students. Next one, we will go to our step number 2. Step number 2, which is called a specific, we can say specify the expected values of each cell of the table when it will apply when the null hypothesis is true. In it we can say the expected values specify what the value of each cell of the table would be in there was an association between two variables. The formula for computing the expected value required the sample size, the row table totals and the column totals. For that, the basic formula we can say that is expected counts is basically you can say the expected count in any cell for a two-way table when HO, which means null hypothesis, is true. Then the formula is expected count is row total multiply column total upon table total. That is the basic formula. Okay. As we can already draw, we can also do some practice here. So for it, we will make a table again. From that table, it will be easier to explain or easier to understand. In it, one of the table we will also already draw. That is for total value. That is for total value. In it, we can say that first part is instructional preference. Second one is face to face. Third one is online. And last one is called total. First one, we will go to the undergraduation, graduate, and total. We will also already draw this table. 60%, 40, which means it is a 40% of total, and overall is called 100 or 100%. Now we will put some values from which we will observe from this calculation, and that is headings are same. Okay, we will do only for this thing. This is for here. This is here, and let our values will go to the here. So we can write here undergraduates, graduate, and total. Okay. We can say the 33, 27, 60%, or maybe we will say 60. We are 22, these are 18. So these are 55, and these are called 45, and overall is 100. These are the basic tables. That is called a total value table, education level table. Okay, and that one is called expected value table. Okay, you just draw it and compare these two tables. Now we will go on our step number 3. Step number 3, which is called, we can say that the observed value. We will say here step number 3 is observed value. Okay. In step number 3, to see if the data giving convincing evidence against the null hypothesis, compare the observation counts for the sample which is expected counts, assuming S0 is true. The observed value which we will already draw in our table, the observed value are the actual count computed for the sample. Statistical software will compute both the expected and observed counts for each cell when conducting the chi-square test. The image below, which we will draw, show the table of SPSS grades for the two variables. In each cell, the expected and observed value is present. The expected and observed value is present. That table we will already draw in at here part, where we will write down the undergraduate data is for online is 20 and face to face is 40, and for undergraduate, for graduate online data is 35 and face to face is 5. Now we will talk about our statistical software. For the statistical software, we will draw a table. Student educational level, that is undergraduate and that is graduate. That part is called total. Okay. For here we can use here count, expected count, expected count. For this one is for online, and this one is called for face to face. Course preference. Course preference. Okay. Now we will put all the values. These are for count. For online, count is 22. Expected is 33. 40, 27, that is 60 and 60.0. For it, 35, 22.0, 5, 0. The sum of this part is it's a 20. 55, 55, 45, 45, 100 and 100. These two are for total, these two are for face-to-face value, and these two are for online values. This is the basic statistical software table which we will be found in our when we put this value in our software. Okay. Now we will go to the next step number 4, which is called compute the test statics. That is our step number 4. Which is called compute the test static. That is called for step number 4. Okay. In it, the chi-square statistics compare the observed value to the expected values. This test statistics is used to determine whether the difference between the observed and expected value is statistically significant. Statistically significant. The chi-square statistics is a measure of how far the observed count are from the expected counts. The formula for the statistics is statistics is, we can say, that is observed minus expected upon expected. From that formula, we can go our result whether the test statistical is used to determine whether the difference between the observed and expected value is in statistical significance. We will use this formula for checking the chi-square statistics is a measure of how far the observed counts are from expected counts. We will use this kind of formula where the sum of overall possible values of a categorical variables. In it, next one is the chi-square distribution. The chi-square distributions. Okay, in it, the chi-square distributions are a family of distributions that take only positive values and are skewed to the right. A particular chi-square distribution is specified by giving its degree of freedom. The chi-square test for a two-way table with R rows and C column use critical values for the chi-square distributions with R minus 1 and C minus 1. Here R is for row and C is for the column. Degree of freedom. The P value is the area under the density curve of these chi-square distributions to the right of the value of the test statics. For it, the graph will be drawn like it, right? These are the values. Okay. This one is for df is equals to 1. For that df value is equals to 4. For that df value is equals to 8. For that df value is how can we define the df? Which is we can say that df value is rows minus 1, column minus 1. We can say, if we are take example, we can say that df is equals to 2 minus 1, 2 minus 1, which means 1 into 1 is equals to 1. So we can say the df value is 1. Df value is 1. For that we can say that graph image above show that the distribution of the chi-square static jets starts at 0 and can only have positives value. The shape of the distribution is much different than the T or Z statics and is skewed to the right. The shape of the distribution changed as the degree of freedom increased. As the degree of freedom is increased. Degree of freedom. Degree of freedom increased. Okay? Okay, students. For today, this is enough. We will meet in our next class and continue that part. In it, we will already study the steps 4, and I already said there are 5 steps. 4 steps are here, and remaining part we will study in our next class. Thank you.